I'm in the kitchen and I called my son Max, one of my twins, Max, they're 9, Max and Leo, into the kitchen to show him this butterfly container that we have. So one of my coaches, Coach Wida, he has daughters and they tend to raise butterflies, these monarch butterflies. Really, really cool thing to see. And I called Max into the kitchen and I'm showing him, and I'm like, look, man, you see, so it's hanging inside of the container and it's about this big, the cocoon, and it's hanging from the top. But a day before that, it was a caterpillar. And the caterpillar was maybe about this big. You kind of see my finger about from here. But when we got this, it was maybe the size of a little bigger than a decent grain of sand. And within a week, it went from this big to this big, then this big, a couple days, then this big, then this big. And I found that so amazing. It was like this little thing, and you put a leaf in there, a leaf about this size, and in a day and a half, the leaf's gone. There's poop everywhere. They poop a lot. But I'm showing my son, and I'm like, dude, like, this is amazing. This thing a week or so ago was a caterpillar. Now it's crawled to the top and it's lodged itself there. And it's this green, the picture, this really pretty green pastel with gold trimming around the side. And it's like super strong hanging from the top, and it's there. And then a couple days later, it cocoons into this butterfly. And I was showing Max, I was like, man, this is so awesome. Dude, like, do you know you would never see this other than in the wild? Like, we have it just growing in our kitchen. Like Wida brings over a bunch of them, so we always have them. And our kids, I think, have got numb to the fact that it's like a wonder of the world. It's a miracle, right? And he was like, yeah, that's cool. And he kind of walked off, and I was like, man, are human beings not like that? Do we not evolve? Do we not go from one thing to the next, right? It kind of was a question I had. And then had to get real about that. I was like, we do. We go into our own personal shells. There's things that we believe that we can do and believe that we can't do. There's things that we walk around pretending that we know how, and then we really don't, but then we learn, and then we evolve into something else. Now, while we don't go into a cocoon phase, I believe that all of us go into a training phase. We go into a practice phase. I believe that, like us, like people who want to play at a high level, people who want to be the best in the world at what they do, people who want to actually succeed and lead and cause people to play at a higher level, we go into that too. And I guess if I can call it a name of how we evolve, I'll call it we practice. We show up and we put in the work every day. And let's say for us, time purposes, we practice a thing about getting better. Let's say it's sports. Let's say we want to run faster. We want to run a 4.1 or 4.2 in the 40. We get a coach. That coach sets us up. He teaches us how to line up, how to practice, how to run, how to line up, how to practice, how to run, where our foot position is supposed to be, how to do shorter runs than that, how to break everything down, and we eventually evolve. We go into our cocoon state. Our mind is fixated on this one action. All we have to do, we eat, sleep, and poop all of this information over and over and over again. Eventually, we practice, we try, we fail. That's going into the cocoon state. We practice, we try, we fail. We go into the cocoon state. We practice, we try, we fail. We go into the cocoon state. It may last longer than somebody else's timeline that it's going to take for them to be able to run from where they are now to the speed that they want to go as they came into this coaching position, whether it's in sprinting, like I said, which is our example right now. But eventually, they get it. Shave off a little time. Poof. Next time, they shave off a little time. Poof. Last one, boom, they're gone. They hit their timelines. I believe that's the equivalent of a caterpillar that started off as like the grain of sand, growing this big, to this big, to this big, to cocooning, putting in the work. All of that effort went into putting in the work, to going into its own cocoon, to be able to morph into something, to come out of the other side that is beautiful. That if you don't see all the work that it took to get from this place, the leaves that it ate, the poop that it dropped, the crawling up to the side of the container, the latching itself to the top of the container, to spinning and spiraling into something beautiful that's covering it, to transform itself into something else, to just appear on the other side as a butterfly, a miracle, then you miss it in yourself. So when I ask myself, like, damn, do we evolve that way? Are we the only things on the planet that don't evolve? I think we do. I think when you choose once and for all to put in the work and to practice and to embrace that amount of practice and to hold yourself to a standard of being the best version of yourself and the thing that you want to be the best in, you have to evolve. You have to be that caterpillar that turns into a butterfly by going into a cocoon, that tries your ass off to do everything. You eat, you sleep, you breathe, you poop. You do everything required of you to go into this incubator phase and come out of the other side the best. Come out of the other side, the miracle that, and here's why I say it's a miracle. People who aren't willing to be a caterpillar first, to come out of the other side, to be a butterfly, never evolve. They just stay the sand-sized equivalent of themselves, the smallest version of themselves, because they refuse to eat, to sleep, to poop, to try, to fail, to crawl up to the side, to do the work to sustain themselves, to do the work to cover themselves, to stay in incubator's phase where no one sees the evolution of them, to just come out of the side and fly effortlessly into the wind. Those people won't do that. If you aren't willing to put in the work, if you aren't willing to do everything required for you, to put in the miles, to do all the shit that's required, whether you're a butterfly or a sprinter, whether you're an entrepreneur or a dad, whether you're a speaker or anything that you're trying to do, that you have to be the best you. All of your energy has to go into being the best and then require everyone around you to be your best. If you aren't willing to do that, you can't evolve. So to answer the question, and maybe to share that with you, you evolve every day. You either evolve forward or you de-evolve backwards by not doing the shit you're supposed to do. And by not doing just the minimum, you can only shrink and get worse. There's caterpillars that actually went into our butterfly container that died because they didn't evolve for one reason or another. I don't know what it was, but some of them didn't make it. So the few that make it, we can see the evolutionary steps to get there. Look at yourself. Are you doing the things required? Are you putting in the work every day? Are you practicing what it takes to start to run that low 4 in your sprint? Are you doing the work and practicing everything it takes for you to be a leader? Are you doing the work and practicing everything it takes for you to be your best? Are you evolving into the miracle that seemingly is a miracle, but technically when you look at what that miracle took to be created, you recognize the other side of every miracle comes fucking putting in the work. Are you willing to be that? Be honest. If you will just do that, you can be the miracle that is you, right? Evolve or fucking die. Those are choices. What are you going to do today? Make that happen.